Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide on the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. President Bola Tinubu is in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, on a 3-day official visit to honor the invitation of President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo. The president at about 1 o'clock this Wednesday. Chairman Nigeria Governors Forum and Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, Chief of Staff to the President Femi Gbajabiamila, were among those who bade farewell to the President. Earlier, in statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Anjorin Galali, indicates that President Tinubu will meet with the Equatorial Guinea President at the Presidential Villa on arrival, where meetings will be held between the two leaders and agreements, particularly on oil and gas, and security signed. On the trip with the President is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, and other members of his cabinet who will be involved in the signing of agreements and review of opportunities to improve bilateral relations. The Senate Committee on Public Accounts says it will not be frustrated by persistent evasive disposition of chief accounting officers of some ministries, departments and agencies of government to honor its invitations, as such agencies will soon bear the consequences. This is with regards to non-appearance of the affected MDAs to respond to queries raised against them as contained in the Auditor General report. Briefing journalists on the development, the Senate's Public Accounts Committee says the attitude of the agencies is contrary to the commitment of President Bola Tinubu to ensure transparency and accountability in the running of the business of government.
Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. 2. Nigeria Mining Cadastral Office. 3. Federal Inland Revenue Service. 4. Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, former DPR. 5. Nigeria Police Force. 6. Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. 7. FCT Internal Revenue Service. 8. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. 10. Nigeria Immigration Service. 11. Federal Ministry of Women Affairs. 12. Ministry of Defense. 13. Nigeria Communications Satellite Limited and others.
Resolves to consider and adopt the position of the Auditor General as reflected in the audit queries. Meanwhile, Speaker, House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas says the counter-subversion bill currently before the Green Chamber does not target any group or section of the country. Making the clarification in a statement, Speaker Abbas notes that the bill, which has passed first reading at the House, falls within Nigeria's anti-terrorism framework and seeks to address subversive activities of militias, cults, bandits, and other proscribed groups or associations in the country. The Speaker, as sponsor of the bill, appreciates the interest it is generating among Nigerians, especially pertaining to national security, but cautions against misconceptions or misleading interpretations of the contents of the bill. He assures citizens that the counter-subversion bill will pass through all legislative processes and Nigerians would have ample opportunity to make their inputs for its eventual passage or otherwise. And the House of Representatives Special Committee investigating crude oil theft is advocating special funding for the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and the Nigeria Customs Service to help them tackle the menace in the country. Chairman of the committee, Al-Hassan Dogowa, at a resumed hearing, attributed the trend of economic sabotage arising from crude oil theft to dwindling capacity of the security agencies to effectively combat oil bunkering, while urging the agencies to justify the need for special intervention funds.
To see how we can come up with a report where this agency of government or this security agencies is actually carried along, and you must also be part and parcel of this special intervention. Unfortunately, these are interventions that have been given specially, and it's not been on our statutory appropriation law. I feel if you can be able to convince the committee that the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps is doing this much, this will help us, I think, be able to address this problem you are facing.
At a separate hearing, the House Committee on Basic Examination Bodies has asked the National Office of the West African Examination Council to provide a statement of accounts on its expenditure since 2022 in a bid to ascertain compliance with fiscal and parliamentary approvals.
Book and statement of account. If you ask me to bring my statement of account and I go and bring a cash book, are they the same?
If we need a bank statement, let the request be in bank statement. And if it comes that way, like I informed you, I'm under authority, I will follow the protocol, and I will plead that you give us 2 weeks so that we will get the necessary approvals and revert back with the request.
The committee has adjourned sitting to a later date. Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament is calling on ECOWAS member states to scale up funding for the institution to meet up its prevailing multifaceted challenges. He said this during the Parliament's Joint Committee meeting on administration, budget, finance, public accounts and economic research in Abuja, Ivory Coast. ECOWAS Parliament correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
The West Africa sub-region is currently facing economic difficulties which threaten the execution and realization of the community projects and programs that necessitated increased funding by member states. Speaker ECOWAS Parliament says the current context is marked by the global repercussions of recession and inflation, provoking international tension, and the security threats within the region, hence the need for more collaboration. Vice President of the Ivorian National Assembly, Diwara Mamadou, and other stakeholders stressed the need for transparency and accountability in discharging the community's resources and for the intended purposes by the executive.
The primary function of budgeting is to ensure an organization has enough resources to meet its goals. Through effective financial planning, one can beat programs and activities require more resources.
The committee meetings are to allow the lawmakers to better understand the challenges of budgeting of the community, thereby to strengthen and consolidate the collaboration between the ECOWAS Parliament and other community institutions. Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The first national conference of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters is underway in Abuja, with veterans from across Nigeria gathering in the Federal Capital Territory in realization of the lofty vision of its founding fathers 6 decades ago. As the theme, broadcasting and the political economy of content production in digital age, the Nigerian perspective resonates among professionals. The Minister of Information represented the Director General of both NTA and Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, believe professionals at the first national conference can leverage the rise of digital platforms to empower voices to address problem of fake news and mis- and disinformation. Veterans on the panel illustrate the political economy of Nigerian broadcasting in the digital age, media economics and management in knowledge-based economy, broadcasting content and credibility in the era of social media, among other issues. The two-day event will feature special awards and election that will usher in pioneer executive members. Now to security matters. The National Counter-terrorism Office of the National Security Advisor is adopting a whole-of-society approach to ongoing fight against terrorism and violent extremism. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the coordinator of the center, Major General Adamu Garbalaka, said this while interfacing with media executives and news editors in Abuja.
The need to balance between the right to know and the quest to protect and project national security necessitated this event. Terrorism and violent extremism strive with adequate media publicity, hence the need for effective gatekeeping and communication management to support the ongoing whole-of-society approach to countering extremist ideology.
The National Counter-terrorism Center sees the media as critical partners in the fight against terrorism, and for us to be on the same page. This meeting is to enable us draw from your wealth of knowledge and experience with the hope to spark a conversation that will set tangible agenda.
As gatekeepers of information, you are not just reporters of news. You are also shapers of public perception, influencers of policy,
constant and unfortunate publication of unverified information that continue to constitute threats to national security, promote terrorist propaganda, were issues that have been of concern to every patriot.
This strategic communication management with media executives and news editors is geared towards understanding public information dissemination platforms and strategies for utilization to counter extremist narratives.
The media plays a major role in not actually creating sensations, not actually making big headlines. It's not all about making profit per se. I think it should be all about national security, national integrity, building trust.
We are to do our jobs fairly within the context of objectivity, fairness, and balance. But as we do this, we must also understand that we hold the society a fundamental role not to overheat the politics.
The National Counter-terrorism Center, Office of the National Security Advisor, coordinates ongoing fight against terrorism. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And for the next set of stories on Nationwide, we now go over to our Lagos Network Center with Hingino as our guide. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Ifoma. The early prospect of fruitless search for white-collar jobs is one of the realities that confront fresh school graduates in Nigeria. And as more graduates leave school to join what is now known as the labor market, the situation remains there. To change this narrative, educationists say there is need for parents, guardians, and caregivers to engage their children and wards in skill learning very early in life. The report. Joshua Ebunoluwa Morenikeji is a 10-year-old artist who started displaying his prowess in drawing and painting at the age of 4. With support from his parents, he has been able to break barriers and made himself visible to the world, especially with recognition as the youngest visual artist in Nigeria in 2023.
He taught me how to draw. It's a gift from God, like my name implies, Ebunoluwa. I just discovered that has chosen me.
That time we discover that he has these artistic skills, and that's how we started encouraging him.
As a young boy who is already earning through his talent, The future seems promising as he doesn't have to wait for a white-collar job because his skill has been nurtured early enough. Joshua's inspiring career model is what educationists are now advocating. They say early acquisition of relevant skills will set up the child for a self-sufficient and independent future.
It's very important that we reinvent our educational curriculum so that they are not just going home with the knowledge of maths and knowledge of science and knowledge of biological sciences related knowledge, but other forms of knowledge that can help them to become entrepreneurs.
Crocheting, knitting. There are a lot of skill work, handwork that you can do, and it pays a lot.
Since skills provide practical knowledge that can lead to job creation and income generation, experts believe support from parents will help Nigerian children become entrepreneurs early in life. The federal government of Nigeria, through various policies, have placed the country on the path of recovery amid economic shortfalls. However, these efforts, some experts say, will further be entrenched in the grassroots only if government at the sub-national level brace up to their responsibilities through accountability and transparency in executing developmental projects.
Governance is about meeting the needs of the people, and that begins from government levels for infrastructural growth, maximum inclusivity, and equitable development, as Lagos is set to have 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas.
If citizens are properly educated and if citizens have access to quality health, citizens will definitely contribute meaningfully to development. And let's take it further. The role of local government also extends to construction and maintenance of roads, especially trunk C roads.
All hands must be on deck. The federal government, the state, local governments, communities, even the individuals, to ensure that everybody plays his or her role towards genuine and sustainable development of Nigeria.
The move by the federal government to entrench local government autonomy has been commended as one that will be participation of the government at the sub-national levels.
I must commend the Supreme Court for doing the right thing, because what the court says is the law. We have seen the letters of the Constitution, but they have not served us. Supreme Court is a court of policy, and in my own view, it has done well by purposively interpreting the Constitution in such a way that can even give hope to the people that all is not lost.
The Constitution of the Federal Government of Nigeria clearly stipulates functions of the 3 tiers of government, of which the local government is expected to foster successful dividends of democracy for the people at the grassroots. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
That's it from here. Nationwide will continue with Asmao in Sokoto after this break.
Thank you very much for staying tuned. Nationwide will continue here in Abuja. We hope to get to Sokoto in the course of the bulletin. Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Shehu Mohammed has condemned outrightly the spate of bad driving behaviors indulged by some drivers across the major corridors of the nation. This is in reaction to the fatal crashes that occurred at Ajao, opposite Bova's fuel station on the Ojo-Iwo Road, as well as that of Malo, both on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Reports received at the national headquarters show that the Ibadan crash involved 35 people, out of which 17 sustained varying degrees of injuries, with 16 deaths, while the Malo crash, 16 people involved. Out of these, 12 lives were lost and 4 others got rescued with injuries. The Corps Marshal, however, charged drivers and other road users to, as a matter of necessity, imbibe all road safety precautions and discard any temptation to contravene established traffic regulations. And an accident along Ojo-Iwo Road Expressway in Ibadan, Oyo State, has claimed 17 lives, leaving many others injured. We now link up with our correspondent, Ayomiko Ajibola, from the scene of the accident for our situation reports. Hello, Ayomiko. If you can hear us, from what you have gathered, tell us what happened. Is it a case of overloading or overspeeding?
Well, thank you very much, Informer. It was a very sad moment yesterday when an accident occurred, leaving 16 people dead and 17 others with various degrees of injuries. Residents of Ibadan are still in shock due to the huge impact of the accident that occurred along Ojo-Iwo Road axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. Multiple vehicles, including an articulated ones, were said to be involved with this accident. And according to eyewitness, members of the Federal Road Safety Corps quickly responded to their distress call. They were on ground and they started moving the injured victims to various hospitals. Now, quickly, with me to speak on what really happened yesterday, I have with me the sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Oyo State Command, Mrs. Rosemary Alo. Ma, you were here yesterday and you really saw what happened. What really caused the accident yesterday?
What caused the crash yesterday was brake failure. A truck carrying iron roofing sheets, fully loaded, lost control as a result of brake failure and ran into some other vehicles, 3 other vehicles. That was a CRV, Honda Jeep, a Micra taxi, and a bus fully loaded from the north, Kano State to be precise.
But you were also at the hospital yesterday to see the victims that will be moved to the hospital for medical attention. What is their situation? Are they recuperating, and has any one of them been discharged?
Yes, as at today, because we were also there today, we realized that as at today, 15 of them had been discharged, but 2 of them have been referred to UCH here in Ibadan for attention. They were, according to the doctor, they are in critical condition.
All right, lastly, ma'am, what is the advice to motorists to avoid this kind of accident again?
Brake failure is not something that just occurs. It's as a result of poor vehicle maintenance. And so what I will advise motorists is you cannot manage a vehicle. It's very important that there is routine check. If they can be having routine check of their vehicles and to ensure that that vehicle is attended to as at when due, then things like this will not occur. Like we always say, FRSA always says, it is not an accident, because an accident is an event that occurs suddenly which you cannot prevent. But as for a crash, it is caused. So it is actually caused because if you don't maintain your vehicle, then you are actually waiting, or it's a crash that is waiting to happen. So we will now want to advise motorists to please ensure that they maintain their vehicle. Every part of the vehicle, the brakes, some people, even the wipers, they don't even change their wipers. During raining season, like we are already in the raining season.
Thank you, ma'am. That was the sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps of Oyo State telling us what really happened yesterday. Informer.
Thank you very much indeed, Ayomiko. A very sad incident there. Thank you. Now, the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency's MIDEN is partnering the Nigerian Postal Service NIPOST to reduce costs of logistics for small and medium-scale enterprises in the country. To this end, a memorandum of understanding has been signed by the 2 agencies to reduce costs of transportation of goods for SMEs. The partnership was informed by the fact that the cost of logistics has been a major challenge for many SMEs in Nigeria, as the cost of goods delivery in some cases are higher than the cost of making the goods. The agencies agree that 15% reduction for small and medium-scale enterprises registered with SMIDEN will help SMEs reduce the costs.
It's free for our small businesses. They just go there and register. As soon as they register, they can access the 15% discounts. I know businesses that have less than 3 employees and are doing a turnover of less than 3 million every year. Imagine them getting another discounted 15% for their revenue. I think that is something that they will appreciate.
Here to partner with you, to partner with your mandate for the micro, small and medium enterprises of Nigeria to come on board our platform, as it is the platform for inclusive economic growth.
We can now join our Sokoto Network Center for the next set of reports on Nationwide with Asma was our guide. Hello, Asma.
Ifoma, good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. Governor Ahmad Aliyu of Sokoto State has announced the award of contracts worth millions of naira for the construction and renovation of a number of rural access road projects across the state. The governor, who was on a thank you tour to Yabo, Shagari, Tambuwal and Kebe local government, reaffirms that his administration will not relent until it overcomes infrastructural and security challenges through execution of more people-oriented projects. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
The appreciation visit was supposed to be paid immediately after the APC's victory at the 2023 general elections that brought Governor Ahmed Aliyu to power, but postponed due to litigations and other public commitments. Governor Aliyu and his entourage, that include former Governor Senator Aliyu Maga Takardawamoko, visited Yabo, Shagari, Tambuwal and Kebe local government areas to listen to the demands of the communities with a view to addressing them. Among the demands are security, provision of road infrastructure, rehabilitation of dams and worship centers. With response to some of their requests, Governor Ahmed Aliyu announced the construction of Kilgori, Kwaidaza, Magachi, Rugar Kijo, and Bengaji Dono access roads. At Shagari, former Minister of Water Resources Mukhtar Shehu Shagari appealed for urgent action to rescue Tureta Shagari Bridge and action on Shagari Dam. Governor Aliyu promptly directed the construction of Dandimahi, Mabera, Ira, Rugar Malam, and Ginga Junction, Horobirni roads within 2 weeks, and renovation of a mosque frequented by late President Shehu Shagari.
I want to take this opportunity and assure the people of Sokoto State of our continued commitment in ensuring we delivered on all our campaign promises.
Also approved Alasa Romo Road, Tambuwal Yagawal, Dogon Daji Road, Romo Kaya Barga, Gudun Tandamara Rija, among others, in Tambuwal, as well as immediate action on major bridge that connects Kebe and the rest of the state. 3 rural roads, as well as takeoff of community guards corps, completion of their base. The visit will continue in other local government areas. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nawaba, NTA News.
Following the recovery of 4 additional corpses, the death toll in the Rima River fatal boat accident at Tundai, Sokoto State has risen to 5. The figure was confirmed by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Sokoto Operation Office, as intensified joint search and rescue operations in conjunction with indigenous divers. Alhata Abdullahi has more.
Recent data has shown that it was 24 victims that were involved in the boat mishap, as against the earlier more than 35 contained in the preliminary findings. From Sunday, when this tragedy occurred, 5 bodies have so far been recovered through the search and rescue operations carried out jointly by officials of NEMA, SEMA, Red Cross and domestic divers.
Both NEMA and SEMA with Red Cross and some first responders here. That's why we are here. That's why we are fully kitted, and we even engage the local divers.
At the time the boat capsizes, none of the passengers on board was wearing a life jacket that would have helped reduce the number of the casualties. For decades, people in the area had been using canoe as the means of transportation to cross the river Rima to their farms despite the overflow of the water during rainy season. District Head of Dundai, Muhammad Bello Yakubu, describes the incident as destiny.
Yes, I could remember that this type of incident happened about 50 years ago, but then there were no loss of lives as recorded this time around.
The communities are appealing to the federal and the Sokoto state governments to provide them with motorized canoes to ease their movement. Measures to avoid such occurrence are by avoiding overloading of the boats, checks on the weather and water conditions, as well as ensuring all passengers are properly equipped. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ifoma in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Many thanks, Asmao. Now, Kaduna State government is working towards increasing food production and reducing the hike in the prices of foodstuff. The latest is the distribution of about 500 trucks, equivalent to 15,000 metric tons of fertilizer, free to farmers across the state. Mohammed Umarajingi has an update on the distribution process.
These are the 500 trucks carrying fertilizer ready for distribution to farmers across Kaduna State.
I'm extremely delighted to be here to flag off the distribution of 500 trucks of fertilizer, about 15,000 metric tons, to farmers across Kaduna State. 240,000 bags will be distributed to 120,000 smallholder farmers free. In the 2024 budget of Kaduna State, we allocated 22.54 billion to the agricultural sector in Kaduna State.
The governor says the distribution of this fertilizer free to farmers is expected to improve crop yield and contribute to food security in the country.
We have distributed quality seeds, agrochemicals, fertilizers, power tillers, vegetable grinders.
The farmers expressed gratitude for the timely intervention.
Apart from these fertilizers, he has given so many things before now. It has been properly used. We pray that God will reward him immensely.
Fertilizer you don't give me, so I'm very happy. I'm pray for Ogowasani. I'm pray, I'm pray. May God bless you.
As these farmers receive their fertilizer, they are encouraged to dream big and cultivate the land with renewed hope to contribute to the food basket of this country. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umarajingi, NTA News.
We will now join Mohammed to shed more light on what informed the distribution of free fertilizers to farmers in the state. Now, Mohammed, if you can hear me, tell us what are the mechanisms, put in place for the distribution?
Well, the idea of distributing this fertilizer free to farmers in Kaduna State is very obvious, because out of the 23 local government areas in Kaduna State, about 19 or 20 of these local government areas are rural communities where predominantly are farmers. As a matter of fact, about 48% to 50% of the workforce here in Kaduna State are farmers. Farming activities has been the business they've inherited from their forefathers, and that is what they are doing up till now. The state is one of the first states in the production of ginger in this country, from local government areas like Kechia, Kagarku, and even Kafanchana, even down to Sanga. And the state is also the second largest producer of maize in this country, in places like Saminaka, Igiwa, as well as Binu Gwari. Where I am now is the exact location where 2 days ago the governor flagged off the distribution of 500 trucks of fertilizer for onward conveyance to some of these government areas to reach directly to the farmers. I'm back here today. You can see behind me the trailers are loaded, ready conveyance of these fertilizers to some of these local government areas directly to the hands of the farmers. 500 is not a small number. You can see the trucks behind me. I can count about 50 of them here ready for distribution to these various government areas of Kaduna State. And then very robust and effective measures have been put in place to ensure that every farmer in Kaduna State get this fertilizer without any hindrance. The committee is being spearheaded by the Secretary of the State Government, also with the supervision of civil society organizations, the labor unions, the religious leaders, and also the elders in the state. About 120,000 farmers are expected to benefit from this across 23 local government areas of Kaduna State. 240,000 of these bags is expected to be distributed to these smallholders farmers. As well, some farmers who had cooperative societies are also expected to benefit. This is what stakeholders have been saying since 2 days ago, that this will definitely increase productivity in Kaduna State, of course at large in Nigeria, to reduce the hike of the prices of foodstuff. It's the in thing now. Everybody is complaining of the hike in the prices, the sudden inflation of foodstuff. And no doubt the distribution of this fertilizer free to these farmers will increase productivity. And of course, there will be food supply, and that will bring down the hike of some of these prices.
Thank you very much indeed, Mohammed, for that update and a very commendable initiative by the Kaduna State government. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, perishable food items are witnessing reduction in prices on the plateau following availability of new crops in the markets. Bilkisi Nuhu visited some markets in Jos and has a situation report.
Harvest period on the plateau runs from the months of July through October, which results in bumper harvest of food commodities such as Irish and sweet potatoes, maize, sorghum, rice, tomatoes, and pepper. Increase in fuel price, fertilizer, farm inputs, and insecurity has led to a hike in prices of these food commodities in recent times. Recently, there has been a drop in some food commodities due to harvest of new crops.
Tomato, there's a slight drop compared to some months back. Now I bought some this morning at 25,000 naira a basket, but some weeks back it was around 40,000 naira.
The trickle effect comes down to us businessmen, because once the product is high, our consumers can buy. But I believe other products will get cheaper, like sweet potatoes, because this is the harvest period. You cannot compare harvest prices to off-harvest prices.
At the grains market in Katako, prices of rice, maize, and beans have increased by over 20%, which is attributed to transportation costs.
2 weeks back, we are selling grains like corn. We are selling 80,000 naira per bag, but now it's up to 85,000 naira per bag. Then the price of beans, as before, we are selling 160 to 165, but now it reached 170,000 naira per bag.
Buyers and sellers are optimistic that with the harvest of such commodities expected in September, the prices may drop. In Jos, Bilkisi Nuhu, NTA News.
And Comfort is standing by in our Enugu Network Center to give us more stories nationwide. It's over to you, Comfort.
Good afternoon and welcome to Enugu Network Center, a 5-day training aimed at imparting new knowledge and skills for better quality health care delivery has been organized for institutions in the Southeast Zone. The Registrar Community Health Practitioners Registration Board of Nigeria, Dr. Bashir Idris, charged participants to take advantage of the annual training to boost their zeal as future trainers. Chegonu Aro reports.
With innovations in global health space, training the trainers program becomes appropriate so as to key into development and strategic discoveries in the health sector, especially community healthcare. With the theme of the training, innovative approach for transforming primary healthcare tutors' career, integrating ICT skills, imperative for collaborative learning, and sustainable universal health coverage. It is paramount to sustain the tempo of experiencing new technologies in caregiving, especially in maternal and neonatal cases.
If these teachers, the tutors, are not brought for a kind of orientation, they may forget a lot of things.
Enugu State Commissioner for Health, Emmanuel Obi, represented urged the participants to ensure quality service delivery, especially in the rural areas where mother and child do not access hospitals in good time.
So these regular trainings are done to make sure that they maintain the standards, see that they keep themselves abreast with the innovations, the new technologies.
Goodwill messages came from the National Secretary, Association of Nigeria Primary Healthcare Tutors of Nigeria, Sir Henry Amako, who stood in for the national president, Alhaji Oba Abdullahi, among other stakeholders.
We don't want to leave any stone unturned. That is why this training is holding on to equip the teachers so that they can further equip the practitioners to carry out the work in the rural communities.
Highlight was the presentation of medals of award to members of Hall of Fame. In Enugu, Chiegonu Aro, NTA News.
The member representing Enugu North and South Federal Constituencies, Sam Chimobi Atu, has flagged off the construction of Ayo Station, Ndiagu Ubagu Ugwaji Link Road in Enugu South local government area of the state. The federal road, when completed, will aid mobility and help in the evacuation of farm produce to urban market. Susan Eze reports.
The project, which is the first phase, connects Ugwaji community with its neighbors. The ripple economic effect of the road when completed, according to Representative Ato, would develop the entire area, assuring of his commitment to the needs of the people. Representative Ato said he will monitor the project to ensure quality service delivery.
For decades, there's nothing like asphalt road within this environment. The environment is having clamoring for government presence. So that is why we came to bring government close to their doorstep.
The flow of gratitude for the project transcended culture and religion as the traditional ruler Obagu Gwaji Igwe Chinedu Nya, the Hausa community in Enugu State, and other stakeholders rejoiced over the development.
Your education has shown us that the real educated person, the cultured man you are, is he who builds the society of tomorrow.
Our youths have been empowered, and even projects, solar lights were fixed in our various mosques. I will like to use this medium to tell you that your son is doing very well.
Speaking on the contract specifications, the contractor, Emmanuel Udwezwe, promised to give the best. The official flag-off was performed by the wife of the representative, Ugweze Mori Ato. In Enugu, Susan S. NTA News.
And that's a pocket from Enugu Network Center. Taking a break now to return to Abuja thereafter. Do join us again.
Voters in Edo and Ondo states are advised to come out and vote as security agencies will provide a peaceful environment. Director, Internal Security Office of the National Security Advisor, Hassan Abdullahi, gave the assurance at the Inter-Agency Consultative Committee meeting on election security at the INEC headquarters, Abuja, while expressing concern over negative comments especially in Edo State. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu urges security agencies to up their operations and deal squarely with anyone instigating electoral violence.
Parties, candidates and their supporters to maintain the peace as we approach the election day and beyond. Party and campaign spokespersons should tone down their negative rhetoric. For the security agencies, this is the time to be more vigilant. You should leave no stone unturned in dealing with any real or potential threats to the conduct of peaceful and transparent elections. Already, concerns have been expressed about the possibility of armed state and non-state actors disrupting processes.
Law enforcement agencies are on high alert and decisively deal with anyone who undermines the polls. To the voters in Edo State, and Ondo as well. You are encouraged to vote confidently, knowing that government is standing with you and is standing to protect you. Protect your voice. Therefore, your role in promptly reporting any suspicious activities or threats to the authorities is crucial in this regard.
Edo governorship election comes up September 21st, while that of Ondo is in November this year. Wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Kayode Egbetokun, says Police Officers' Wives Association, POA, is taking the lead in ensuring that police families are fit and healthy. Francis Form reports that she reiterated this as POA members converge on Abuja for the association's 60 years anniversary.
These are wives of police officers from across the country and their counterparts from the sister security agencies. Their existence for 6 decades is the reason for this gathering, and the health of police families is on the front burner.
When the women take care of their health, their husbands are also taken care of too. They can take care of their husbands who are out there doing the work, coming back home to these women. And then the women can also take care of the children for the husbands.
Wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Kayode Egbetokun, enjoins spouses to prioritize the health of their families.
We want all the women to come out, even in their various stations, maybe once in a month, to go for sports so that they will keep fit and healthy. You know, we believe that by doing that, they will not be recording sicknesses. And did you not see us? We are gallant women police officers' wives.
I give it to her and I praise her, and I want everybody to see it that power is going far.
Empower a woman that is even not doing anything right now. We are there for you. That's why we are here, to support the power at 60.
Other activities lined up includes physical exercise and football competition.
To the glory of God, power won this very cup.
Francis Form, NTA.
And on that note, we conclude Nationwide for today. Thank you for being part of it. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Bye for now.